Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know how I always start my show off with gratitude, or some people say thankfulness. It's absolutely beautiful here today in Trinidad. I am so honored. I woke up this morning saying, I'm here again. I'm here again, seeing another day. I am so thankful. I spend most of the day today just being in that presence. Yes, most of the day, but I'm always in that presence of gratitude and thankfulness. And I want to extend that to everyone. If you focus on that, you will have less time to think of anything negative or to feel no joy in your life. It's not worth it to spend your time being angry and annoyed and anxiety and quarrel and all those negative things. It doesn't help you. So I want to encourage persons to be more positive. It doesn't matter what other people tell you. Turn it around into something positive and see the good in it. Yeah. So I have a beautiful woman here with me, and we're talking love today. Isn't it a good time to talk about love coming to the Christmas? So we're going to be, not that you shouldn't love before that time of the year. You should be loving all throughout the year, but it's that time of love. This time on Valentine's. And it's so funny, Christmas leads into Valentine's. Isn't that nice? So we're talking about finding lasting love. Does it really exist? Is it still available to find? We'll find out from her. So Amy Schoen is here. And Schoen is spelled S-C-H-O-E-N. Yes, Amy Schoen. She's a nationally recognized dating and relationship expert since 2004. She has helped hundreds of marriage-minded individuals. So if you're planning or thinking of marrying, she's the person to reach out to find your lifelong mate, and early stage couples. So if you're early in the game, reach out to her to create the relationships that are fulfilling and satisfying, that lead to greater commitment and marriage. As a certified professional life coach, Amy utilizes both her whole life coaching training and her incredible life experiences to serve her clients. She's known for her approachable manner and empathetic abilities. She has been a certified life coach since 2005 through the Coaches Training Institute of San Rafael, California, and then completed the Relationship Systems Training with the Center for the Right Relationship. In addition, Amy participates as a member of the International Coach Federation, especially in the DC metro area. Amy is known for her skill at clarifying her clients' critical relationship values and what is truly important in their lives so that they can fully connect with their true love partner, whether they are single or already coupled. She strives to help her clients to feel at peace with their life choices so they will have no regrets about how they are spending their time, energy, and resources to achieve their life goals. And we want to officially welcome now Coach Amy Schoen to Between the Lines.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
It's great to have you. Now I'm going to offer myself here. I'm throwing myself in the deep end because I am single. So
wow.
Yes. So you are going to use me. Yes, this is much more than an interview. You're going to use me as a little, I don't want to call myself a guinea pig, but use me as an example to see what you can find out about me and why I haven't found a good life partner yet.
So have you been married?
No, thank God.
Okay. And can you give us your age group?
Let's say 50.
Okay. And have you always been entrepreneurial?
Yes, very much so.
Have you been very involved in your business?
Very much so.
Yeah. So actually, I have a whole section in one of my books called Dating Like an Entrepreneur. I've actually specializes in helping people who are self-employed because we can really bury ourselves in work and are really opening ourselves up for a relationship. So
well, I'm a Virgo. I don't know if you know much about Virgos, but we are workaholics.
So from how from a scale from 0 to 10, how important is finding a life partner for you?
I would say about 10.
A 10?
Yeah, I would say 10.
And in terms of priorities of your life, of where you put your time, what priority would it be in your life right now?
on the same scale?
If you had to put what are your top priorities? What's your top 3 priorities in life right
Well,
now?
my business now is my top priority, because of decisions that I made leading up to where I am now, the stage I am in my life. So my business is important. I recently came out of a relationship, so it's just been like about 3 years. I was in a 27-year relationship which ended.
Okay.
So I am out there. I'm not really rushing. I'm not looking. I am not bothered if I don't have somebody in my life. I'm enjoying being single. And I'm really enjoying being single, honestly, really enjoying being single. But I don't mind having somebody, the date or companionship, that type of thing. I don't mind it. And if it leads to something more, then fine. So I'm open, but I am not, I am
So
at a
I'm
point.
not hearing you're motivated right now.
I'm
You're
not,
in that
I'm
kind
not,
of transition. No, I just, what I'm hearing from you is that it's like it would be nice.
it would be nice. It would be nice, but
But
I'm
that's
not going
not
to
my
say,
clients. My clients, this is a top priority. They
yeah.
see relationships. This is something that's really like, they don't know why they don't have a relationship, and they truly, truly want it. And they're willing to put their time and energy and invest in themselves in this way.
I would put time and energy, but it would be nice too. I'm not going to say I'm going to give it the top
So why don't
priority.
you ask me a question about, because I'm actually, so what do you think that your listeners would want to hear?
Just what we are talking about, because if they're hearing me as an example, it's the same things they would be answering as well. They're putting themselves. I'm acting in the capacity of somebody listening to the show. They may be single. It's coming to the Christmas season. You start to feel, oh, you're going to be alone. You may have come out of a relationship, and well, your kids have grown. They're no longer with you. How do you deal with that transition, especially now coming out of a relationship? You're still young in it, 3 years. Some people have been 5. Some people have been 10. And they're enjoying.
Right. Different people date for different reasons.
Yeah.
And what I teach my clients is that to find somebody who's dating for the same reasons. And when we do this exercise in my coaching program, we come up with 24 reasons, over 24 reasons why people are dating.
Yeah.
And so my clients really, this is something that's really a pain that they do not. They're no longer enjoying being by themselves. They don't want to come home to a house by themselves.
Yeah.
They don't want to, the hard part about working for yourself, because I know I've been in that place, is I work from my home and I'm all by myself all day. I have my cat, but I'm all by myself. So, the thing is, there are people that do come back into my house. I have a child. He's 11 now, and I have my husband.
Yeah.
And I like them in doses. So, being an entrepreneur, we like our work time and our workspace. Yeah. But I always look forward to the together time. Now, some of us are introverts and some of us are extroverts. So that really, in terms of our energy from the Myers-Briggs kind of way. Mm-hmm. So I need to be around people. I don't like being alone. Okay. And so therefore, I see myself in relationship. Do you see yourself part of a couple?
I do eventually. I don't mind it. Like you just said, you put me in the right little box, if you will, that it would be nice. But I'm not probably in your target group where persons need to have people around. I'm not needy in that way. I'm quite comfortable being by myself. I don't mind having persons around me every now and again, but I'm good by myself. But if something develops, I mean, I would put the time, because I am like that. If I'm in a relationship.
Yeah, but in your business, would it be okay to have clients? Is it okay if the right person came along?
Yeah.
Don't you have a plan for your business?
Yes, I do.
Don't you have? I develop dating plans for my clients.
Okay.
If you don't plan, things don't happen.
True.
And we leave things to chance. And yes, the universe, you have to be open to opportunities. Because a lot of us, I know myself, when I was dating, I was actually pushing away good guys. I met my husband 5 years earlier. We went on one date. And it never developed into anything. And then we connected again 5 years later. I was in a better place because I had done the work that I needed to do.
Right.
And I
Right.
was then open to a man like my husband. But
I
I
like
was
that.
being very judgmental. I was pushing people away and saying, not so fast, not so fast.
Mm.
And I missed a lot of really good guys. So we have to be ready to accept a relationship into our lives, right?
That's right. I like that point. I like that point because that is important. We need to work on ourselves. And that is exactly where I am, working on myself. It's not that you wouldn't meet the person probably in a former life or years before or whatever, but you just weren't ready at that particular point.
Exactly.
But we're
So
talking,
part of my work is to see how make sure my clients are ready and
that's
open in their lives to accept a person. And what does that mean? When a guy is looking for a relationship, he wants the companion, he wants a playmate, he wants
yes.
someone to do stuff with. He may be working still,
Mm-hmm.
yet they want availability. And
Mm.
what I find is I live in Washington, D.C. We're workaholics here.
Yeah.
And so the women come to me, they've got great jobs and and people working really hard. Um, and they're like, oh, but I only have like an hour or 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon to meet you. A guy doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants to know that you're going to make space for him in his
That's
life.
right.
And that's one of the reasons why after I went on one date with my husband, he never asked me out on a second date. He perceived me as being too busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like the tips. I love the tips. So finding lasting love. Is that still, is it a myth? Because there are some
No,
people that
I
really
mean,
think,
my clients do it day in, day out. And so I always hear. So again, when you have two people who are really looking and open and searching,
mhm,
and they're putting energy in this place in their lives, and they've done the work, they know who they're looking for. I mean, that's what I do with my clients. I get them really clear about
that's
who
right.
that person is, and then how to put themselves out that's going to be the best ways for them. Now my clients have been very successful with online dating. 80% of my successfully coupled clients met through online dating after they worked through the Motivated to Marry dating secrets process. Now, not all my clients are motivated to marry. Some
Mhm,
are just looking for good, healthy relationships or
that's
getting
right.
right this time,
Yeah.
which is my book titles. Um, and so, I help people really connect with themselves and connect to their values, to
Mm,
get really clear about what they see for their lives, their life vision as a life coach, what's their purpose,
mhm,
and also how to communicate it to a potential life partner. And so I do help my clients with their online profiles. And once we kind of massage them and put those values in and we really put their goals, I mean, I want my clients to start off and say, I'm looking for a relationship that will lead to marriage. If that's, to put it out there.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if a guy's just playing, he says it'd be nice, I'd like a girlfriend, but I'm not sure,
Mhm,
then my clients, that's not good enough for my clients. Now, there are people in that space, they usually are not really coming to work with me. And it's okay I believe in being honest where you are. Like you're honest about where you are in your process.
mhm.
And I believe in being honest, and that way people won't waste their time with the
That's
wrong
right.
people.
That's right.
There
You
are
always
people who are unscrupulous for one reason or another, and you have to be careful, who you're
right.
connecting with and that their intentions are honorable.
But you
So,
mentioned online dating. So you do most of it is online dating because I know people are quite skeptical about online dating.
well,
It's
most of my
relatively new.
clients, yes, and I just did a whole Facebook Live training on how to identify scammers, because it's a
Nice.
thing that's coming up. The Match has been sued by the FTC,
Wow.
Federal Trade Commission, and because they said that there have some unscrupulous practices, not honorable. So, but my clients have been very successful on sites like Match and eHarmony and all the major sites, and
Okay.
because we're using a weeding out technique and also helping people identify who is really a real candidate versus who's a fake
So
profile.
let's look at that. If we're looking to find lasting love and online dating, or even if it's face to face or through networking, what would be, I like to use a magic number of three because it's easy to remember. What would be the three things that you would tell persons to look for in order to identify somebody who may be
Well,
healthy?
I find that people have to line up, and I do have a three number.
Oh, nice.
So first, that you have to have the same life goals. You have to be going in the same direction. You have to want the same things. For me, I wanted to get married and have a family, and I found when I was dating in my mid 30s to late 40s, late 30s into my 40s, not my late 40s, that I got remarried. I got married at 42 to my husband now that I've been married for 17 years. But when I was going through that process, a lot of the men had their families already, and they didn't want any more children. So that was like a dividing line.
Yeah.
But there are other dividing lines. I find out that people, right now I'm working with a lot of people who are over 60. Some people want to continue working, and some people want to retire. And so, that seems to be a dividing line. So your goals and your vision of what you want for your life have to be aligned. And I've seen the examples of when they're not, how heartbreaking it is, because you can meet a person and be attracted to them, but if you're not going in the same direction, the relationship it's not going to stick around. The second thing is your core relationship values need to be aligned. And what do I mean by that? What's really important to you, you need to share certain values with a partner. Now, not all your values need to be shared with a partner. Some of your values are your personal values. For instance, one of my real big values is to be an independent, creative entrepreneur. It's my work value. It's my Amy value. And that's like I like to do my programs and do my talks, and I have a book and all the stuff I create and do all my stuff around work. But that's how I want to work independently. I don't need independence from a person in terms of, a relationship. Now, my husband is the furthest thing from an independent creative entrepreneur. He doesn't have he's an IT guy. He's a real good, he's good at what he's software. He's good at what he does. Don't ask me what he does because I'm not sure. But all I know is he goes to work and he's in IT. Okay. So, and he works for a big company. So he doesn't have that value, but what I do need from my partner, which was really hard because I've always been entrepreneurial, I'm a serial entrepreneur, that somebody support me in it, appreciate me, and respect it. So what I do is I do this values clarification session where we pull out all your values, your top values. I usually get around 24 or more values. And then we talk about which ones do you need to be in relationship. Now, a relationship value that my husband and I share is meaningful, loyal, trustworthy relationships. Now, you say, doesn't everybody have that? But deep, meaningful. No, not everyone does, believe it or not. And so, I looked for that. I looked for a trustworthy person because my ex-husband wasn't.
Yeah.
And so, that was important to me.
So you're using your life experiences.
Right.
And from that, of course, you know what you don't want. Because as you go through life, you realize, you meet this one, you meet that one, even whether it's a male to female relationship or even your girlfriends or just work relationships, you look generally at relationships and you say, I don't want this quality. Or you look within yourself and you say, I need to work on this quality within myself. I need to be a better version, to prepare myself for the person that will be coming in my life.
We have values things that are important for us that we are not living fully. Like I have a value around being organized and on top of things. And let's just say it's one of those values that I've pushed under the rug. So I also call myself a creative clutter because I'm a visual person, and so I have stuff all over the place. So, and then with the two other people in my household, it just multiplies. So, I mean, ideally, in an ideal life, everything would have its place and look wonderful, but it's not. And so we have values that we're not living fully. But these are the things we connect on. And you're right, when our best friends and the people we love to hang out with, they share our values, they share our relationship values. And so it's really important. The third thing that really needs to align is we have our must-haves and would like to have, or a deal breaker, as you can call them. It's easier to get from deal breakers.
Yes.
But there are things that we need to have to feel comfortable and want in our lives. And we have to make a decision. Is this a deal breaker, or is this a would like to have? Like, for instance, I had a cat and I loved that cat. That cat was like my saving grace through my divorce, I mean, and everything. And I wasn't giving the cat up. So I know it sounds silly, but this is true. So I wouldn't date guys who are allergic to cats unless they're willing to take medication. And most aren't, you know, and I know that it did determine. I mean, my husband loves cats. And, you know, and that was one of the endearing things, is I saw how he took to my cat. So, you know, we were a package deal.
That's
so
nice.
there's silly things like where you live,
Mm.
and, you know, some people want to live in the city. Some people want to
Yeah.
live in the suburb.
Yeah.
There's so many factors that people come up in terms of must have, would like to have. I mean, they're the typical ones. But then they're the not so typical ones. And we have to be clear, are we using the right things to evaluate people? Are we pushing people?
It comes like a guy who may be an outdoorsy type. He likes hiking, running, marathons, you know, all the bugs and stuff outside. And the woman may not be that type. She'd be like, I really don't like creepy crawlies. I'm not into that. You know, is that a deal breaker for a couple?
Does it have to be? Can he go off with his friends and go camping for a weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that is that would might be a would like to have. Like I know that people say that one woman says she likes to go to ballet and her husband doesn't like to go to ballet, so she goes to ballet with her mother and her friends, and you know, so there are things that are important and things that are not important, and some things we can give up and some things we can't. Like, I mean, I love to dance, and you know, my husband is not the best dancer, and you know, so my non-negotiable was that he has to be willing to get up and dance on the dance floor and make a fool of himself. that was my non-negotiable. I mean, yes, it would have been great if he was a great dancer and we could go out dancing, you know, every weekend. But you know, that I gave that's I would like to have, and you know, he took lessons and he has no muscle memory, so you know, he does the best he can. But we get up and we dance when we're at a wedding or some affair or something like that. And my ex-husband wouldn't get his butt out of the chair.
Yeah. At least this one is trying. I'm a dancer myself, a Latin and ballroom dancer. So my passion is dancing. So, you know, I'm thinking anybody coming into my life, that's where I'm going to go. Every time I hear dancing, I'm going to go. I mean, I hear music, that's what it is. So
well, we had a deal that I could go every month to this place where it's okay to go by yourself to dance. The people switch partners all the time, but life got in the way. I had my son, and now, you know, his things take priority. And I feel I'm not going to go off dancing by myself on a Saturday night. It's just not going to happen.
Okay.
So it was good in theory, but it didn't happen in actuality.
In actuality. But would you think later down in your life, because something like that is a passion for a woman or a man, and you say, well, okay, we're still young in the relationship and we keep going on, but there comes a point where you're like, you miss it. There's that part of you that you miss, and suddenly you start blaming the other person for not allowing you, or you are not allowing yourself to do the things that you're passionate about, and it just aches inside of you, and eventually that becomes the thing that breaks the relationship.
I don't know. You know, it's a choice we all make. You know, what's more important? You know, for me, having a family and being part of a family was a higher priority for me, and I enjoyed dating. But then, you know, life happens. I'm at an age where, you know, I had the back injury, and I was not as physically active as I'd like to be, but you know, there are other things that, you know, I do that I enjoy and physically, and, you know, as well. So there are ways I can go to Zumba class, you know, and I can dance there, and that seems to work. So
it's a lot of evolving and compromise, and you knowing yourself, you know, and what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. I think it's a personal decision. as opposed to a couple decision. It comes right back to you. You know, Amy, it comes right back to you. You as a woman, him as a man. Yeah, as opposed to making a choice because of him or as of him. It's really about you.
Right. And also it's how this person makes you feel. I mean, who do you want to have in your life? I mean, I wanted to have a supportive partner. I wanted to have somebody, another person. I mean, I didn't like, being on my own. I could be on my own, and I was. I mean, it was 7 years from the time I divorced,
Yeah.
then when I got married. I really grew up, and I really learned to be on my own. So I know I can do it if I have to.
Yeah.
But it's not my preference. I mean, some people see themselves as a couple and really want to be part of a couple. I really believe this. And other people are fine. And I have friends who've never married, and I have friends that have wonderful lives, and they travel, and they have fulfilling work and all that. And it's a choice today. It's not a have to have. It is a choice for us women about what kind of life do you want to lead.
That's right.
And I mean, that's the good news. The good news is there's not as much stigma with being a single woman.
That's right.
And as being a life coach, I want what's best for my clients. I mean, I know people who really like living on their own. They like to have their own space. They like to be able to come and go and do what they want when they want to do it. And these people are not, I talk about, does somebody have the capacity to be in relationship? And the desire, the capacity and desire, and knowledge and skills. So, I can teach my clients some skills that will help them with their relationship so that it flows and it moves forward in an easier way.
Yeah.
But there still has to be the desire. And that's what I kind of teach with the whole Motivated to Marry philosophy, is that some people are, that's a goal of them, to meet someone and get married, or meet someone and have a long-term committed relationship. And then other people like yourself, you're living your life, and if you bump into somebody wonderful, you may consider it. But it's not really a focus, and it's not something that you're putting a lot of time and energy into it.
Yeah.
And my clients, they do make it a focus. They do, we work on their dating plan, I know, and we look at the best ways that they're going to meet people given their personality, their interests, their values, their passion. And we kind of build, not everybody has a lot of time, so we have to be very efficient with the time you are putting out there. Yeah. And I help you, give you tools to connect and recognize this person as being a good person for you.
Yeah,
and moving forward, of course, you have to be attracted and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
it all goes.
It happens all the time. And I just had another client who met somebody, and she was a single mom and in her 40s, and she moved on from a relationship that I call an almost not quite. And she wasn't sure about leaving the relationship. She felt a little guilty. And after we did the work, she realized that he was not the right partner for her. And she did meet somebody quite wonderful. They seem very happy together, and they're planning their future together.
Nice. You have to let go to make the space for something better to come into your life. That's what I believe. You have to let it go. If you keep holding on, you just never know what is out there that is better for you. And you holding on to something thinking that's the best thing out there. No, there is always better for you.
Yeah. Well, people are fearful, but I noticed, my book is called Get It Right This Time.
Yay!
The cover is like a target.
A target.
I see it as a feedback loop, and we make better and better decisions until we get to a better, meet that person. And then it's recognizing it when you do meet that person and allowing that relationship to go forward. Yeah.
I'm going to hop across to your website here now. So here we are. I'm sure you're seeing that. Let's have a look. So why you haven't found true love online yet? So persons can put their name in here, grab a checklist.
I have an online dating checklist, since it's really a strong part of what I work with my clients on.
Nice. So persons can put their name in here to get at least a head start with you. Yeah, and do some work on themselves. motivatedtomarry.com is your website. Here it is again. And of course, if persons want to contact you, they can reach you here. And private coaching, they can check it out here. And you have some products. Let's have a look at some of your products. Nice. Tell us a bit about that. Which one of your products seem to be the number one that people always go for?
Well, the basic one is the Motivated Married Dating Secrets program, and I do have it. It's online, and you can, for those people who can't really afford one-on-one coaching, it is a more affordable way to work with me. And so then you get access to my 8-module course on step-by-step process on how to date. And like, I do the inner work, and then we get your dating plan, and then how do you choose somebody, and then how do you make that connection work. So I give you all the tools you need to really go forward. Even, what do you need before you become exclusive with someone? I believe having kind of an idea of what you need before you meet that person. Because actually, people become exclusive pretty quickly within 3 to 6 dates.
Yes. Yeah.
So you better be kind of clear about what you need from that relationship. And I even have the relationship hurdles where I have a list of all the things you have to consider before you would consider being engaged. Wow. And I even have a timetable in my program about how long you should be dating someone based on your age and your life goals.
That seems to be science, Amy. Amy, this seems to be a science and a degree and a master's and a PhD.
I give a lot, but you know what? People take from what they need. And then I have these twice a month coaching club calls. So I have a community, and I have a Facebook group, the Motivated Married Singles Facebook group. And I have a coaching community where you get on and you can ask me any questions. So I can support you. Yeah. And I don't get, I get like half a dozen people on these calls. So you get a lot of personal attention from me.
Yeah, awesome. I'm thinking, where has the simple thing, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, they fall in love, run off into the sunset, get married, have kids, and live the fabulous life. What happened to that? I'm like,
what happened to that is more than half of us ended up in divorce. And I want to help someone date for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons. And so going based on chemistry alone and, it looks good,
Yeah.
we want to go in with our eyes open. We want to really know ourselves. And I really wish I had done this work in my 20s instead of my late 30s and early 40s.
Everything is for a reason, Amy. You learned it at the time you were supposed to learn it so that you can share it at the time you're supposed to share it. And this is the handsome man in your life.
Yeah, he's totally gray now. He still has hair, though.
I will tell him what you said. This is the handsome man in your life. Look at the big grin. Oh, my goodness. Yes, he seems to be quite happy with you. This is awesome. So I'm showing him off here. So please tell him that he's not on my show, but I'm showing him off. He's getting a little bit of credit here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, Amy, and I'm happy about the work you're doing because, love is one of the things as human beings we look for.
It's very important in our happiness. Who we end up with really depends on our happiness. So, I invested in myself. I hired a coach when I turned 40, and it was one of the best investments I made, and to make sure that I was getting it right and have the support and the knowledge that I was missing. I was missing. Why did I end up there? I don't know. My parents had a great marriage. I had a good role model, but I didn't have the skills and the knowledge that I have now. And so, I was a seeker, and many of my clients are. So I love, I'm very passionate about the work I do, and I love to support people in the best way I can.
And I think you're doing a fabulous, fabulous job. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Showing your book. And, it's great for persons to see your website. This is why I always show it on my show so that they don't get lost. They know exactly where they are, and how to reach you. And great for having that little checklist. So as I said, it's a great start to get started, work on yourself. And then you can reach out to Amy to get into her program. If you can't afford a one-on-one coaching, you definitely have the online program that she has there. Yes? So go for it. And it's coming to the end of the year, people. It's a great time to
It's a really best time. The best time to put yourself online is the beginning of the year in January. And so to be ready for that, I mean, I'm working with my clients to get them ready for the January dating opportunities, where online dating jumps up 25% in terms of volume of people who are putting
Really? I didn't know that.
right after New
I
Year's.
tell you, this thing has become a science. From the boy meet girl is now become a science. Thank you,
Really
Amy.
is. There are some peaks on online dating, and you have to catch the wave. You know, it's great to catch the wave. I have clients that meet all times, but it really is to the point where I once had a client. She put herself out after New Year's, after a relationship ended in November, and I had worked on her profile, got her, made sure her pictures were great, and she met this great guy, and it was New Year's Day,
Wow.
and then I found out that he was online one day.
Oh my.
And they're married now.
Nice.
So you have to be ready because
Yeah.
they're out there, they're looking.
Yeah. 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 This is awesome. You're giving me hope. I am representing the single women who are entrepreneurs, caught up in all our work, comfortable with being by ourselves. It would be nice to have a relationship. Thank you so much, Amy, for
Thank you.
bringing perspective into my life, and for helping us to know that finding lasting love is possible. It is
It's
possible.
possible. You have to believe in it. If you don't believe in it, that's part of the process is to believe it can happen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being our guest on Between the Lines.